In 2007, McLaren was hit with the largest fine in the history of sports, a whopping $100 million. You heard that right. This was after Formula One's two biggest teams were caught with 800 pages of Ferrari technical information that were top secret. The 2007 Formula One espionage controversy, nicknamed Spygate and Stepneygate, still remains one of the most shocking scandals of the sporting world. In this video, we'll uncover the secrets that are concealed beneath this espionage controversy, bringing all those guilty towards the limelight. So, without further ado, let's begin. The gripping tale. Spygate is one of the most infamous scandals, and the two primary individuals behind it were Nigel Stepney of Ferrari and Mike Coughlin, the chief designer of McLaren. So what was the gripping tale behind this? Here's what happened. Nigel Stepney felt that he was overlooked for promotion. Also, in February 2007, Stepney made public comments about his unhappiness after the team's reorganization, which was a result of Ross Brawn's departure. He said, "I am looking at spending a year away from Ferrari. I'm not currently happy with the situation within the team. I really want to move forward with my career, and that's something that's not happening right now. Ideally, I'd like to move into a new environment here at Ferrari, but if an opportunity arose with another team, I would definitely consider it." Also, later that same month, Ferrari announced a major change in the team structure, according to which Stepney was appointed as head of team performance development. The announcement said, after many years spent working on the Formula One circuits, the last 13 of those as part of the Ferrari race team, Nigel Stepney, with the approval of the company, has chosen to take on a different role that will see him no longer have to attend the races. Now, Stepney went on to steal nearly 800 pages of technical information regarding the 2007 Ferrari and passed it to Coughlin, with the pair attempting to land jobs with other teams. Now, how did this intricate plan fail? All thanks to Coughlin's wife, Trudy, who tried to make photocopies of the confidential documents at a shop in Woking, this plan went sideways. The owner of the shop was a Ferrari fan, and he immediately emailed Scuderia, informing them about his suspicions. This led the FIA to open an investigation along with legal proceedings in both Italy and the UK. What happened was that the FIA cleared McLaren's name based on the fact that Mike Coughlin had acted alone and that the confidential information was not shared with the other McLaren staff. Moreover, though the FIA found McLaren guilty of possessing Ferrari's data, it did not punish the team as they couldn't prove that McLaren had made use of the information to improve their car. On the day during which Ferrari announced the dismissal of Stepney, the team also announced that it had taken action against an engineer from the Vodafone McLaren Mercedes team, who was later found out as Mike Coughlin. Well, Coughlin was then suspended by McLaren. A Scuderia Ferrari press release read, "Ferrari announces it has recently presented a case against Nigel Stepney and an engineer from the Vodafone McLaren Mercedes team named by Autosport.com as Coughlin with the Modena Tribunal concerning the theft of technical information. Furthermore, legal action has been instigated in England and a search warrant has been issued concerning the engineer. This produced a positive outcome." But the FIA also said that if they received any new evidence that showed that the data they possessed was used to the detriment of the championship, the team could be thrown out of the series both in the current and the next season in 2008. It was on July 31st that the FIA announced that the case would go to an appeal court on September 13th. Such a decision was taken, followed by a request from the Italian Motorsport Federation. But it was then that new evidence was found, and thus the appeal was dropped. The new evidence the FIA had stumbled upon was the drivers' emails that were sent to Bernie Ecclestone, the F1's commercial rights holder. It was then that two individuals, drivers Hamilton and Alonso, stepped onto the scene. The FIA questioned McLaren's drivers, Hamilton, Alonso, and the test driver, Pedro de la Rosa. They asked the drivers to provide any information they had regarding the case, which would be shared in exchange for immunity from punishment. The drivers were notified that if it was known later that they had withheld any potentially relevant information, there would be serious consequences taken against them. According to the FIA, it was due to the exceptional circumstances in which the FIA gave the team's drivers immunity in return for providing evidence that there wasn't any penalty against them when it came to the drivers' standings. Also, the FIA said that for the year 2008, it would receive a full technical report on the 2008 McLaren car and will make a decision at its December 2007 meeting as to what sanction, if any, will be imposed on the team for the 2008 season. Even though Ferrari had begun a separate criminal investigation in Italy, the FIA also started its investigation to check whether McLaren broke an article in the International Sporting Code which dealt with competitors who brought the sport into disrepute. McLaren wasn't the first to receive constructors' penalties, as there have been other teams who have faced the same. In 1984, the Tyrrell team was removed in 1984 due to several technical infringements, but it is to be noted that the team was not a leading one. In 1994, the Benetton team was suspended from 2 races after the team's driver, Michael Schumacher, ignored a black flag. Also in 2005, the BR Honda team was disqualified from a race and was banned from 2 others as they used an illegal fuel tank. On the 11th of September, McLaren approached the FIA with questions regarding the Renault F1 team and possibly other teams. During the time, it was not known whether the meeting was related directly to the espionage scandal, but it was known that a McLaren argument was made which stated that if they were found to be guilty, there are other teams who are as well. Then came the big day, the 13th of September, the day during which the FIA hearing imposed a penalty for illegally collecting and keeping information from Ferrari to bestow a dishonest and fraudulent sporting advantage upon McLaren. According to the penalty, McLaren was excluded from and withdrew all points that were awarded to the team in all rounds of the 2007 Constructors' Championship. A massive fine of $100 million and the obligation for the team to submit its 2008 chassis for inspection. As promised, these did not affect Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton and their points. The two were free to contest the Drivers' Championship. This was because the drivers were given immunity in exchange for their cooperation. Though harsh actions were taken against the team, it was not banned, and all the drivers' points earned only counted towards the Drivers' Championship points. Well, whenever the team won any of the races that followed, like when Hamilton won at the Japanese Grand Prix, no McLaren representative apart from the driver was allowed onto the podium. It was announced the WMSC will receive a full technical report on the 2008 McLaren car and will take a decision at the December 2007 meeting after what sanction, if any, will be imposed on the team for the 2008 season. On December 31st, McLaren issued a public apology over what had happened, and also offered to put a halt to developments that could be considered as those deriving from the Ferrari information that was stolen. By February 2009, an agreement was made between the legal authorities in Italy and the lawyers representing McLaren, putting the great scandal to a close. So what do you think about this whopping penalty and the espionage scandal? Did you find this penalty to be sufficient for the scandal? Let us know your opinions in the comments section. If you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so that we can entertain you with more exciting videos.